Hi, everyone. I'm Oded Eran, co-founder and CEO of Connie Health. I'm joined here today by David Luna, co-founder and president of Connie Health. David is a licensed advisor with over 20 years of Medicare experience. Today, we're talking about the Social Security 2023 cost of living increased or cost of living adjustment, what it means for your pocketbook, and when the COLA is expected to be announced. Again, COLA is cost of living adjustment. David, let's dive into it. First of all, explain to our viewers what is a cost of living adjustment and why does the government do it?
Social Security every year will give you a cost of living adjustment. More than for anything is really just to try to balance out the inflation. Of course, we all know that this year, 2022, and I would say that here in 2023 and maybe 2024, we're still going to be experiencing some of that inflation. So, not sure that it'll ever make up for what you're spending at the gas station, what you're spending at the grocery store, and so forth. But that's why they do it.
2022, not the kindest year for Medicare beneficiaries' pockets. First of all, we were hit by a pretty steep increase in the Medicare Part B premium. David, do you want to remind us what was that all about?
Yeah. So this year in 2022, well, let me go back to 2021. The Part B premium, for those of you who are on Medicare and have Part A and Part B, the Part B premium was 148.50 for 2021. In 2022, they announced the increase to 170.10, which was an increase of $21.60. In my time that I've been in Medicare, I've never seen that steep of an increase. And what we were told initially, and there may be some truth to this, is that some of it had to do with, making up for the expenses that were brought on by COVID, and then of course also by that increase was making up for some of the more expensive medications out there.
Yeah, and that was for the Alzheimer's drug that then Medicare dropped, which was one hell of turn of events.
Yep.
So in 2022, Medicare Part B went up by $22. What a massive increase, $22 per month. So 12 times a year, that's $240. For a couple, that's almost $500 a year increase in the Medicare Part B premium in 2022. And then 2022 is a year where the US economy and the world economy has been ravaged by rapid inflation. Um, we all read the papers and see the news talking about the massive inflation, and we go to the gas station, the grocery store, and we see the prices going up and up. This cost of living adjustment will not compensate us for that, correct?
Yeah. So just to give you a little bit of a breakdown, you're absolutely right, Odette. I mean, I don't know, and I don't ever predict that there's going to be a time where you get a cost of living adjustment that's going to make up for everything that you've paid before today, right? And so but when these numbers, they fluctuate so much. Let me give you an example. June of 2022, June of this year, they predicted that the increase would be right around 10.8%, which would mean an average about $180 extra in your paycheck. And then in July, they said, oh, looks like we're targeting to 11.4%. The record, keep in mind, for increases was 11.2% back in 1981. I graduated from high school in 1981. That's a long, long time ago, folks. In September 14th, they said, okay, cost of a living adjustment looks like it's going to be estimated at 8.7%. So for the average worker making around $1,600 a month, that's going to mean about an extra $146 in your paycheck, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not much, considering what you mentioned earlier: prices at the gas station, prices at the
Yeah,
grocery
and
store.
and that's future. Are already like in the red for
Yes.
2022 because the gas prices went up in 2022 and nobody's going to compensate me based on that. Basically, what's happening is the government's predicting what the prices will be in 2023 and adjusting the Social Security, the Social Security payments for then. But hopefully, like again, we're not criticizing the government. The government is doing what it can. This is what's really difficult in times of inflation. You don't know what the prices are and what they're going to be in the future, because there's no stable price index. And so what we're happening is there, on one hand, there's good news that in 2023 the cost of living adjustments will kick in and Medicare beneficiaries will receive a bigger check from Social Security. But we have to recognize that this is happening because 2022 was a bad year, where most likely Medicare beneficiaries' disposable income eroded because of the Part B increase and the high inflation that we occurred this year. Okay, David, I think we understand. I think our viewers now have a good idea of what is this cost of living adjustment, why is it happening, and what they should expect. Again, the cost of living adjustment is expected to be announced October 13th. So keep an eye on that. David, thank you so much for walking our viewers through it. Again, David Luna, my co-founder and president of Connie Health. I'm Oded Eran, the co-founder and CEO at Connie Health. Our job here at Connie is to help older Americans save money and get better care. If you like what you're viewing here, please like and share us. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in.
Thank you.